My name is Ráðhildur Ingadóttir and I'm from Iceland. I live both in Iceland and in Denmark, in Copenhagen and then in the east, Seyðisfjörður. I'm, how can you say it, a multidisciplinary, approach in a way, but I'm using, but my work starts normally in drawing. It can be dream, it can be something, a projective geometry, it can be something to do with, related to cosmology, contemporary science, and this, but mainly it starts in drawing, and it's normally, my shows are normally installations, and they can have sculptures, drawings, videos, silk screen printing, everything to, can be in one, in one installation. Well, I came with the intention of continuing something I had started, but which are drawings called. They are called Contemplating Gravity Waves. And I started these drawings in 21, and I decided to work further on them here and to experience here the surroundings and the people and, what is on offer here, because that's how my work often develops. I'm doing these drawings, but then I can make a project that is related to people, to places and things. So I don't know yet how I've been drawing here in the potting shed, which is a lovely place to be in, and I don't know. I think I would think I will be coming back to make a project here that is. My drawings are sort of the starting point, but because I think of the drawings as, these, I think of gravity waves as a part of life, and it's affecting life on Earth. Gravity waves, this is an idea from Einstein, and they were proved first in 2017. That they existed. When something big happens out in space, like there's a star is ending or blowing up, or black holes are, meeting, or there is a collision between stars or whatever, there's a big thing that happens then, and it's a lot of force, and it sends out waves that can happen million trillion years after the event happened. So gravity waves are a sign of something happening out in space in a way. And I think they are, this is like everything else, it's a part of what we live through, and it affects, growth, it affects us, it affects everything, of course, like everything else that's, in space, So, so I'm drawing these gravity waves, and I use a technique I use elements from projective geometry to draw them. What I did here was, obviously, I was in the pot shed drawing, making drawings and enjoying being here, and all these things, and today which is my last day, I had a course on I would say light projective geometry, and so I was teaching people to draw the limacon or the Pascal's snail, and then I taught them to make a sort of growth measure, and then we used the growth measure to draw a spiral with. To explain how I use the drawings, for instance, in 1998 I made drawings of vortexes, few of them, and I had them printed on sweaters, warm sweaters, and I had been making sort of a few projects like that with clothes, and my drawings on silkscreen printed on the clothes, both text and drawings, and then I decided I would like to make one project that would come in hand for somebody. So I had 500 sweaters made, and I printed on them these vortex drawings. And my idea of the vortex, this vortex is the movement of the whole cosmos somehow. And then I asked the international department of the Red Cross in Iceland to help me to find a place where this was needed, these sweaters. And this was in 1998, at the time of the Balkan War, and they decided to contact the Yugoslavian Red Cross and ask if they had need for it, and if so, where they wanted it to be distributed. And so they decided that it would go to a town called Sremski Karlovci, which is just outside of Belgrade. And then I just left, and then I revisited the work 20 years later. I decided to try to find sweaters some of the sweaters, and that would mean I would meet some people, hopefully some of the refugees, which I did. I met 2 of them, and I found 3 sweaters. And I talked to some other people also who had lived through this time when the sweaters were distributed. And so I made a work, yes, from this whole thing, which is also just called Vortex, and this is, of course, a work of 20 years or more. But the thing is with this work is that it is like a projection in a way. It is sent out there, and it is living the life, its own life, and So and I went there, and I met a person who owned 2 of the sweaters. And then I had been trying to find more and couldn't find, but I found 2 persons I found another person who used to own a sweater but didn't own it anymore. And then in the end, I started to go there in 2018, and in 21 was the last time I went there, and I was sort of trying to find more, and then suddenly a woman who was the head of the Red Cross in Sremski Karlovci phones me and says to me, "Do you know what happened this morning, Ráðhildur? We have this volunteer that is working here, and she was sorting out the clothes, and she came to me and said, took a sweater out and said, is this for a man or a woman? And that was one of my sweaters. So you can see it's still out there, just living its own life. And that's, I think that's very important. What has been a surprise to me here, that's true. I was surprised, of course, by the way you live in a way. And I think it's adorable that somehow everything is so relaxed, and an example of that are the buses here. Like, you just step out on the street and you say, wave it, and it stops for you, and then you tell them where you go off, and everything is so easy and in this way, and very human in a way. That I think this describes a lot how it is here. It's very easy and much flow in it somehow.